Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether y'all are watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm stoked you're all here. Today I wanted to go through 5 knives that I haven't spent a lot of time on lately, and they all fall under the $200 price point, and they've all stayed in my collection for a reason. I think they're all great knives, and I'll take a little time to talk about them. But first off, I want to say thank you to all the channel members. Thank you guys so much. And thank you to anyone who comes in to check out the knife, the EDC content. I really appreciate y'all. If you're so inclined and you hadn't had a chance yet, if I could convince you to hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it would really help me out and help my videos get seen by more people. So again, today's video is looking at 5 knives from my collection that I bought, that are all what I would consider a good EDC, which is a medium-sized folding knife. These are all locking versions, and they all come in under $200, somewhere thereof, right? I believe this Flytanium Arcade, which is the first company besides Demco to license the Demco Shark Lock. And I really think that this is probably the nicest version, or one of the nicest versions of the Demco Shark Lock. It is titanium, or excuse me, aluminum handle, black titanium insert, S35 VN stonewash blade, very thin, very slicey. And I've always been a huge fan of the Andrew Demco Shark Lock and a lot of his locks. But this gives you some other appointments, like the ability to change out these scales if you want to, or these inserts. And the Shark Lock, the action on this particular version for me is just perfect. So this is the Flytanium Arcade. It is a fantastic knife, deep carry clip, under 200 bucks. However, we're just going to keep this to 5, so this will be our honorable mention. And again, it's still available. A couple of these knives are only going to be available on the secondary, but they stayed in my collection. I think they're highly recommendable. And so I didn't want to leave the Flytanium Arcade out, because it is a winner at right under 200 bucks. So moving to number 5, we come to a knife that is no longer available in its new form. However, this knife, when I got it, this is the Malary Phorus. It is a fantastic, medium-sized, very narrow, very elegant gentleman-style folder. I say that because the carbon fiber handles and the thin steel inserts make for a very, very light package. You've got an S35 VN, powder-coated or stone-washed blade that is just so slicey. And guys, the profile of this knife, with its titanium clip, its carbon fiber handles, and that thin blade stock, and that very, very generous finger choil, makes this knife just an absolute joy. It's got a finger hole deployment only, but has very good detent. I can thumb flick it too, even though I'm not a thumb flicker guy. I say that. For some reason, I just do a lot better with my middle finger flick. And this knife is light. It is agile. They've come out with a higher end version of this, OEM by Artisan Cutlery. I don't know if this particular version will ever come back, but you do see them from time to time on the secondary. And it is a great value, in my opinion. It was Dylan Malary's first design under his name, and it's the Malary Designs Phorus. There is a Phorus 2 that you might be able to get out there that's a little bit more expensive, but it's also got more premium materials. This one, I want to say, came in right around $185 with the carbon fiber S35 VN. I love this knife. Very thin, very elegant, and very able. Which brings us to number 4, which is also a medium-sized knife, but it builds up from that minimalistic feel to give you a more substantial package. This is the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. And this is by far my favorite Giant Mouse knife. This happens to be the St. Nick's Knives version in Vanatus or Vandus steel. It's a tool steel. It's black washed, extremely sharp. This knife is what I consider a get it done EDC knife. It is chunky. This one's in G10 titanium backspacer. It has a liner lock. It has that Vandus or Vanatus steel. It has this pill-shaped opening hole, which is one of my favorite type of opening holes. And it is a finger deployment or flipper only. But this pear-shaped hole just really catches my finger very well. You've got this really dramatic clip point Bowie-style blade with the very nice harpoon, and your jimping fits right in there. It is an absolute joy to carry. This one has contoured G10 scales. I've had this knife in L-Max and micarta. It's available in other finishes and other special editions, but this is the one that has stuck with me. If there's anything that I would love to see improved on this knife is if there was a little bit of lock bar access cut into there. You do have a jimped lock bar so you can catch it, but you don't have any real relief to get to that lock bar. It could be done easier. I don't know if you can see, but I leave skin on it, which is okay, but just a fantastic knife. The Giant Mouse Ace Grand is their favorite model to me. Does have a wire clip. You could replace that with a Spyderco if you didn't like it. It is reversible, and I just think it's a very elegant knife. I've been very happy with the tool steel, the Vanatus. I haven't had any issues with it. Haven't had to sharpen it yet, and it is just a great medium but chunkier knife than some of the others we looked at. Still a gentleman's folder, still a great EDC knife, still under $200. I want to say this one came in right at $195, as most of the Ace Grands did when I was buying them. So coming in at number 4, we have the Ace Grand, which brings us to number 3. Guys, I have had Asher knives since they first came out. This is one of their latest, not the latest. They've come out with an even upgrade to this one. This is one I picked up probably 5-6 months ago. It is the Asher Spiro, like my titanium Spiro, but this one has 20 CV blade steel. It doesn't have the S35. It's using 20 CV. Super slicey. I remember Lefty EDC did a review on this knife or a comparison on the titanium, which I also have, but rated it more economical Oz Roosevelt type of knife. And when you look at the ergonomics, you look at the simplicity, but its effectiveness as a knife. This is a great EDC knife. Also uses a wire clip, which I really like because it makes it go in and out of pocket effortlessly. You've got contoured G10 handles. They have a little texture, but they're pretty smooth. You've got this G10 backspacer. You've got an integrated lanyard loop there in the tail. You've got drop shut action, snappy detent, where you cannot get this knife to fail. You can flick it from anywhere. And guys, I want to say this knife was right around $120, maybe $130. I picked it up at a retailer, and I always forget the name of it. North River Outdoors is where I picked this guy up. And I want to say it was 120 bucks. It is in G10. It is in 20 CV. It is a fantastic knife. I love it. I love the way that it carries. I love the way that it cuts. I love the way it deploys, and I love the value that you get. Just a really, really nice knife. I think these are being OEM by Petrified Fish. I could be wrong, but just a fantastic knife. And this is the G10 Asher Spiro in 20 CV. It's coming in at number 3, which brings us to number 2. Number 2 is probably one of my favorite Kizers to date. And that's taking nothing against the Satisfaction's Phoenix. I love that knife for a whole different set of reasons. When I look at EDC thin knives that are kind of going to fit this video, which are going to be that under $200, which the Phoenix is too, but just a good all-around EDC knife. The Varatas, the Kizer Varatas, I think is special in a lot of ways. It's a Laconico design. It does have a front flipper that works very well, even though I hate front flippers. I love the milling pattern. What you've got is you've got this square pivot on the lock side. You got this single triangle, and then you've got this series of triangles that make up the pattern of the knife. The back side, you've got this really nice lock bar. You've got this really interesting lock bar relief, which I thought where your hole access is, it might make for a odd grip, but it doesn't. The grip is fantastic. And something that's really cool about this knife that I didn't know about until very recently, and I think it's a T6 for the clip. I did not think this clip was reversible, but it turns out that it is. And what's unique about that is you can't see where it would go in. But if you push through here, well, I'm not actually going to get through. I'd have to take it apart. But you can take it apart, and when you take it apart from that other scale, you can push out that little, let's see if I can do it with this. Pull that. I don't think that's going through. I don't think that's going all the way through. Anyway, you can take that scale off. You can pop this little area, which you can kind of see discolored there. It really fits well out. Switch your clip around, and then this piece goes in right here. So I found that really cool. And I learned that. I can thank Melissa Backwoods for showing me that on one of her shorts, because I did not know that this clip was reversible. But the Kizer Varatas, or Varatas, has proven to be a fantastic knife. The detent, if I could give it any wish, it would be that it was just a little bit tighter. Again, it's a fine detent. I've just kind of gotten used to a crisper detent. However, this one is not going to shake out. It's just, I think it's where the finger hole's placed. I don't get the snap. I get more snap actually on my front flip. But great knife, super slicey, super thin, great profile in the pocket, great medium-sized EDC knife that from work to play, it's going to get all those things done. Ray Laconico designed Kizer Varatas, the Varatas, NS35 VN. Which brings us to my, and this knife comes in right around $168, I think. I will leave Amazon affiliate links where I can in the description of these, because that's usually the least expensive places that I found them. And I pick up a lot of my Kizers and some of my other knives from Amazon. This will probably be the only one I'll be able to link from there. But my number one is no other than the Divo Mash 2.5 at, I can't even remember what this knife was, 175, 150, I forget what it was, because I bought 3 of them. I bought a, no, I actually bought 2. I bought a black, and I bought the, I bought a bronze, and I bought the carbon fiber, and then I did a blade swap off my Mash V2. This is the 2.5 carbon fiber. It is in 154 cm. It is extremely light. It is a super light knife. You'll see a theme through a lot of these. It also has the wire clip, which I'm a huge fan of because it goes in and out of pocket effortlessly. Has fantastic lock bar access. It is riding on skiffs. It's got a wonderful hollow point reverse Tontoe sheep's footy blade that is a therapeutic slicer. Got bite for days. And for me, it's just a fantastic value knife. I used to say the Gripper V2 was my favorite Divo design, and it was. I think I have fallen for the Mash and the Nip, kind of as my two favorites. My favorite primary Divo, and then my favorite smaller. If I had to choose one to be an all-around knife, the Mash for me is hard to beat for the value. I've also got a Buzz. The premium knives are great too, but I think the value you get in a knife like this, let's say it was $155, and I feel bad that I don't remember. I want to say it was less than that, but in either case, you're getting carbon fiber or titanium, 154 cm, hollow ground, fantastic deployment hole, fantastic ergos, very well made knife, and a company, Divo, that stands behind their knives. I think their customer service is awesome, and I think they just do a great job. So when we talk about 5 knives from my collection that haven't been given away or sold or traded, these 5 stand out from the pack. And start out with our honorable mention, which was the Flytanium Arcade. Right here. Coming in at right around $199, and S35VN, and aluminum with titanium insert. And then we've got the Malary Phorus coming in right around $180, I think it was. And then we have the St. Nick's Knives exclusive Ace Grand. I think it came in at $195. We have the Asher G10 Spiro in 20 CV. I want to say this guy was right around 120, 125. The Kizer Varatas, right around 168, I think. And then the Divo Mash 2.5, somewhere between 130, 170 bucks, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But any one of these knives, guys, I could recommend to someone who was looking for an EDC knife that was kind of going to get everything done, cover their bases, not necessarily your hard use type stuff, but it would cut through hard use stuff too. Guys, these are just 6 great knives from my collection. Wanted to break them up a little bit differently, share them with you guys. None of them have been reviewed in a while except for the Mash, but I appreciate you watching. I hope you found it informative, educational, entertaining, worth your time. And I thank you for watching. All I ask is please look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.